It's rare to get something fresh in the world of sovereign citizens, but here we are. After hearing the same tired arguments about non-statutory this and abatement that, it's honestly refreshing to hear something new, even if it's just a fresh brand of nonsense. These people seem to invent words just to sound different, but in reality, they're all still clinging to the same baseless, delusional beliefs. Judge Middleton's response to this new twist in the tale, a bit of a mix of exhaustion and disbelief. Sovereign citizens always seem to have a new flavor of their bizarre legal claims, and this one is no exception. It's like waiting for a twist in a terrible movie. Just when you think they can't get any crazier, they do.
Good afternoon, sir. Are you Kirk Edwin Jensen?
Yes, I have documents in here that I just filed with the clerk, and I need to submit them here.
Is that this thing called non-statutory abatement?
That's it.
All right, I got it. I provided a copy to Miss Davis. It's entitled Kirk Edwin Jensen, Reign Citizen, Reign of Heavens, a set-apart place for that address. Non-statutory abatement.
Here's the thing about making fraudulent documents, especially ones as ridiculous as a homemade passport. You're setting yourself up for failure. What do you think's going to happen? That you'll just skate by unnoticed. This person, for example, forged a passport thinking it was some sort of shortcut to legitimacy. But let's face it, that decision is going to bite them where it hurts. They might think they're fooling the system, but the reality is, the system has a way of catching up. And it's not pretty when it does. It's like digging your own hole and then being surprised when you fall into it. A little common sense might have saved this person from their own downfall, but alas, they had to learn the hard way.
File number 23660ST, charges operating with no license. Charge 23661, charged with operating with no license in your possession. I don't think you can be convicted of both of those, as I said at our arraignment. And then the third count is a civil infraction, no proof of insurance. Could probably be charged as no insurance, but it was charged as a civil infraction.
I have the proof of that here.
May I see it? All right, that's the person that owned the car.
Correct. Yep.
All right. Let Debbie see that. All right. We had kind of a chase our tails around at the time of the arraignment. You are, what do you wish to be, a Reign citizen?
That I have a social compact and a body politic, which gives the authority for the credentials that I had when I had given them to Mr. Brooks at the time.
The tragic thing about sovereign citizens is their refusal to admit they're wrong. They could have a way out, a chance to fix things, but they'd rather face down a future filled with felonies than take the easy road and admit their errors. It's a strange kind of pride, a stubbornness that pushes them deeper into trouble. They'd rather fight a losing battle, all because their ego won't allow them to face the reality of their situation. They've built their whole identity around this absurd, self-made ideology, and now they'd rather face serious legal consequences than let it go. It's almost like watching someone destroy their life for the sake of maintaining a lie.
And
the officer that wrote the ticket.
right. You had said that you were going to try to get those from him and see them for yourself.
Yeah, I don't know whether Ms. Davis got that or not.
We did get additional information from the agency in Detroit regarding passports, and they confirmed they are fraudulent. So if this doesn't get resolved today with the plea as charged to these misdemeanors, then we will be amending to have felony charge.
It's fascinating how art sometimes reflects life in the strangest ways. There's this old science fiction story, Mimsy or Where the Borogroves, that talks about toys sent from the future. Now you might think, what does that have to do with sovereign citizens? Well, when you dive deeper, you see that the story feels almost prophetic. It's about things from the future influencing the present. And here we are, surrounded by futuristic technology like cell phones, and yet we're still dealing with these backward-thinking sovereign citizens, clinging to outdated ideologies. The parallels are uncanny. The future is here and it's moving forward, but these people are stuck in the past, clinging to their imaginary constructs.
People call themselves different things. The common vernacular term had become sovereign citizen.
And I do not claim that in any way, shape, or form.
All right.
I rebut that. I completely rebut that statement.
All right. Well, I tried to think of a term for it.
Well,
Just a minute.
okay.
Let me get my thoughts together here. We had a guy, Mr. Aiken, a couple of weeks ago, and we went round and round with him, and he wanted a jury trial, and he didn't show up, and then he was found in contempt, and he went to jail. And I said, well, how about willfully misinformed defendant? That's too cumbersome, or willfully ignorant defendant. And then I was laying in bed between then and now, and I thought, follow me here, Mimsy were the borogroves. It's like, what the heck does that mean? It's from the poem Jabberwocky by Lewis Carroll. It was written in the 1800s. It's a nonsense poem that doesn't mean anything. And more importantly, there was a science fiction story written maybe during the war called Mimsy Were the Borogroves. It's a very interesting story about some toys that were sent from the future back to here. It's pretty relevant right now with cell phones. And the third line is Mimsy were the borogroves. And what is a borogrove? It doesn't make any sense. So my term for these people that come in with this kind of nonsensical jabberwocky is going to be borogroves. So this is borogrove. It doesn't mean anything, and neither do your pleadings.
The best way to describe sovereign citizen arguments, they're a lot like the poem Jabberwocky by Lewis Carroll, completely nonsensical. Just as Carroll's poem creates absurd words and phrases that don't actually mean anything, so too do these individuals spin wild, meaningless concepts about law and government. It's all a jumble of words designed to sound complex, but ultimately it's just nonsense. The poem itself doesn't have a point, just like the endless chatter from these citizens. They throw out terms that sound official but in the end are just as meaningless as made-up words in a poem. The more you try to make sense of it, the more you realize it's all smoke and mirrors.
This non-statutory abatement and all this stuff about self-claimed contracts and Exhibit B and C has no lawful effect. So the question I have here is, do you wish to have a trial on these matters, or do you wish to enter a plea to this?
So does the body politic and social compact, is that being disregarded?
Correct.
Okay, then I'll go with the trial.
All right, then I will. Do you want to have an attorney to assist you?
No.
All right, you sow the wind and reap the whirlwind. The prosecutor is going to charge you with some sort of felony charge. What charge did you have in mind, Ms. Davis?
I believe that Prosecutor Morgan looked it up, and it was fraudulent documentation, basically manufacturing fraudulent passport and a fraudulent license.
We talked about Conch Republic passports. Whatever you had, and this false passport and some claim that somehow you had an international driver's license. You have to have a driver's license from somewhere to have an international driver's license. And this isn't it?
Mm-hmm. And I had that too. I have that too, yes.
All right, well.
One last question. The documents that were taken by Mr. Brooks, I want to make sure that those are entered in as evidence.
Judge Middleton is the embodiment of no-nonsense justice. When he talks, you listen, no room for foolishness. He brings a refreshing sense of order to the courtroom, especially when dealing with sovereign citizens and their absurd claims. It's like watching a master at work laying down the law with precision. But what really stands out in this case is his take on the term borogrove, which he explains so matter-of-factly that you can't help but find it both amusing and fitting. The more you hear about it, the more you realize it's not just a legal term, but a symbol of the absurdity that has come to define these kinds of court cases.
When the time comes.
Do you have those, Deborah?
I do not have physical possession of them. As all evidence, it's held by the sheriff's department and the evidence lockers. So certainly we would introduce those as exhibits.
All right. Well, you're always polite enough, but
I stand
This,
firm.
well, this,
I
it's, the
stand firm
problem
on
with
what I
this
have.
this is insidiously dangerous. People decide on their own that the rules don't apply to them. And even though they're polite and respectful, you're yanking my chain, and this is a waste of our court's time and Miss Davis's time.
I intend to prove that
All
these
right.
things are correct.
All right, maybe you do, but they aren't. This stuff is meaningless. And if everybody decided like you that they don't need a driver's license, they don't participate in our social contract, and they wish to use our public roadways and our streetlights and our court system, but hey, it doesn't apply to me, things would break down. The rule of law would cease to exist. So it's polite, but it's insidious and it's dangerous. What's next? I don't have the social contact, so I can punch somebody in the nose. I can kill somebody. I can sell drugs. The rules don't apply to me because I'm a RAIN citizen. Well, it don't work that way, at least not here in Michigan or in St. Joe County. Same rules apply to you that apply to everybody else. And you're going to get charged with a felony document fraud case. Do you want a bench trial or a jury trial?
Jury.
Yeah, the same thing. It's hypocritical. The rules don't apply to you, but you don't mind bringing in 30 of your citizens to come in and
It's
hear
going to be
this
just
stuff.
me. It's just going to be just me.
Sovereign citizens often throw out statements that make no sense, and Judge Middleton is always ready to rebut them. But here he takes a different approach. He doesn't just shoot down the statement immediately. Instead, he pauses and takes a moment to consider how best to handle it. You can almost see the wheels turning in his head as he tries to come up with a fitting response. And then, like a light bulb turning on, he hits us with something completely unexpected. Instead of directly rebutting the statement, he dives into his own thought process and creates a term that perfectly encapsulates the madness of these people's beliefs.
I'm going to set for a jury trial. Mimsy were the borogroves. That's what this amounts to. 'Twas brilling on their slithy ties. It's a bunch of nonsense. And so, Mr. Borogrove, I will see you on August 16th at 8:30.
Your Honor, just to clarify a few things in anticipation of that. As far as service, Mr. Jensen, will you accept service at the email that you have on this non-statutory abatement?
Correct, yes.
Okay, so just wanted the clarification that I'm going to send a witness list to him, make sure that he has the supplemental report from.
Yeah, there is
Detective
one thing
Steers.
that it does have some merit in here. He asked for discovery. So yes, your request for discovery is honored, and the prosecution will provide all discovery to.
What makes sovereign citizens so dangerous isn't just their beliefs, but the fact that they think the rules don't apply to them. They're polite, respectful even, but behind that veneer of civility lies a refusal to follow basic societal rules. It's like a wolf in sheep's clothing. On the outside, they seem reasonable, but inside, they're challenging the very foundation of law and order. What's particularly dangerous about this is the ripple effect it could have if more people decided that the rules didn't apply to them. It's a slippery slope that can lead to chaos and anarchy. This isn't just a minor issue, it's something that could unravel the fabric of society.
Yes, so we'll be providing that to the email that's listed on this document that was filed
And what
today.
email will I use to respond?
Yours would, the email that it comes from, which is PROS at
Okay.
stjosephcountymi.org. As far as witnesses, the people would intend to call Deputy Kevin Brooks, Detective Sergeant Brian Steers, Chris Catone from the TSA, and James Herdman, Special Agent, Diplomatic Security Service from the Detroit office.
Will all that be included with the email?
Yes, I will do a written witness list. So
What's that officer's name?
The last one, James Herdman, Herdman. And then potentially this Cheryl Pulaski.
The owner of the car?
Yes. I don't believe there might have been another backup officer. Let me double check. I don't know if we'll need him, but
Even though you have these mistaken beliefs, what's your objection to having an attorney to help you with this?
I do not choose to have anyone, any bar or associates representing me.
All right. If it is not charged as a felony, in the meantime, you're to be here August 16th at 8:30.
Okay.
And do you have any witnesses that you wish to call?
Potentially the owner of the car. I'm not sure at this point, but that would be one potential minimum.
There's a fine line between being polite and being disrespectful, and these sovereign citizens are towing that line. They come into court acting all courteous, but underneath it all, they're wasting everyone's time. It's like a game to them. They refuse to accept reality, yet they expect the court to entertain their delusions. Judge Middleton sees through this facade, and it's clear he's not having it. He recognizes that their politeness is just a cover for their ignorance, and he's not here to play along. It's an absolute waste of the court's time, and Miss Davis, too. Everyone in that room knows this is all a charade.
Other
Just a minute.
witnesses, would they be available?
One precaution, the owner of the car might have a Fifth Amendment right not to testify.
Mhm.
If they're allowing you to drive the car without an operator's license, that could be a misdemeanor in and of itself. So that's something to consider. But we'll address it further. We'll see what Mr. Marvin and Ms. Davis elect to do with this.
For further witnesses, would Zoom be available?
No, they be here live and in person.
Okay.
All right. Any questions? All right, you're free to go.
thank you, Your Honor.
They choose to call themselves by different titles. Henceforth, I'm going to refer to this type of defendant as a borogrove.
It's not just about disrespecting the law, it's about the ripple effect this kind of thinking can have on society. Sovereign citizens, no matter how polite, are playing a dangerous game. They believe they can opt out of the rules that govern everyone else, and that's a problem. What's even more frustrating is the waste of resources. The court system, the judges, and the prosecutors are all spending valuable time on these people's delusions. That's not just inefficient, it's a ticking time bomb for society's well-being. If more people start thinking like this, chaos could ensue.